Thomas and Percy are the best of friends. They nearly always work together. Sometimes they would see each other at the station and enjoy a friendly conversation before leaving with their trains. Thomas was at the new station delivering parcels to its residents. He was feeling pleased with himself. A few minutes later, Percy arrived with some passengers. On board was Sir Topham Hatt. He had an important announcement for the engines. "Ah, Thomas," he said proudly, "I have a special job for a fine engine like you." Thomas was pleased. He loved important jobs. "As you know," continued Sir Topham Hatt, "the sheds are getting old, so I have sent for a special delivery of paints to make the sheds splendid again." The engines were pleased by this. They all wanted to make Sodor splendid. "And make sure the paint isn't damaged, Thomas, by the time you get there," continued Sir Topham Hatt, and left. Thomas was pleased, but he knew he couldn't do it alone. The only other engine was Percy. As soon as he asked to help, Thomas said yes, and the two set off for the docks. The two best friends set off for their important mission. They were determined to keep Sodor splendid. They proudly arrived at the docks. They searched everywhere, but they couldn't find the paint. They soon arrived near Cranky. "Hey, you two down there," he called. "I've just finished placing those paint in those cars right there." The two were relieved. "Now let's get this back to the sheds before the others notice," called Percy excitedly. Soon the engines were coupled and on their way. They made good speed and were about to make it to the sheds, but trouble lay ahead. The viaduct was in bad conditions of the weather. It has been repaired a long time, but the tracks were weakened by the wind. They were so dense that an engine could fall off into the stream below. Percy was so busy in a hurry that he didn't look where he was going. Thomas tried to warn him, but Percy took no notice. Then, as they reached the viaduct, Percy cried. The edge of the viaduct was collapsing. The pile of gravel tumbled into the water ahead. "Bust my boiler!" whistled Percy as his driver applied the brakes. But it was too late. His driver and fireman jumped clear, just in time. "Oh, help!" cried Percy as he slid into the viaduct and held dangerously over the stream. Thomas could see his best friend was in trouble. "The viaduct's collapsing," cried his driver. "We'll have to pull you up, Percy." Whistling bravely, Thomas waited until his driver coupled him with ropes, and he pulled his friend back to safety. Percy was safe at last. "Thanks," he sighed in relief. Soon enough, the viaduct was repaired, and Thomas and Percy were on their way to the sheds. And it wasn't long before the painters set off to work with the sheds. All the engines were very pleased to have their sheds rebuilt and painted again. And Thomas and Percy have learned a lesson. Whenever there's danger, they have to listen to each other, as friends should.